What's up, everybody? It's me, E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews, and welcome to another episode of The Recap, where I catch you up on some of the latest entertainment news that you might have missed out on. In today's episode, we're going to talk about some new movies and TV shows that will be coming your way, but most importantly, we're also going to cover the bigger news that was the historic deal that has just went down with Universal Pictures and AMC theaters, and I will break all that information down in terms of how it'll actually change, potentially, the movie industry and how it might affect you. Coming up next. Well, remember the last episode where I was talking about Christopher Nolan's latest movie, Tenet, and the whole delay and the speculation about whether it'll be released in Europe or not? Well, it's been confirmed that now it will release overseas. Warner Brothers has announced that Tenet will debut internationally on August 26th before opening in select cities in North America on September 3rd. This is how the bootleg man is about to be looking. Yeah, of course, this is going to happen. We know it happens all the time when movies of big name stature get released overseas. You're going to start seeing the bootleg market get flooded or whatever. I don't like it. I personally hope that that something changes, but then again, it doesn't seem like we're really going to have that much of a change in such a quick turnaround in the month of August with this whole pandemic and everything. So I'm just discouraged because I know Christopher Nolan movies. He really is intentional with his movies and how he shoots his films, and how that when he does shoot a movie, he really wants it to be seen in a theater. Yes, you can watch it at home, but there are just certain, visual things that happen, and maybe just how it's actually shot. We don't know if it's going to be 3D, if it's going to be some Matrix type stuff. We don't know. But usually he's going to put some component in there that will really make the theatrical experience a little bit better versus watching it at home. So I am disappointed that this will be released overseas first. I'm still, hopefully, if theaters can get their act together, still going to try and go watch it in the theaters, but I don't know. We'll see. But moving on, speaking of which, we actually have a movie that is going to jump the gun, so to speak, in terms of skipping theaters and just going straight to VOD, and that's going to be Bill and Ted, Part 3. Due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, Bill and Ted Face the Music will bypass the theatrical route to debut simultaneously on premium VOD and in any cinemas willing to play the sequel on September 1st. So this is kind of interesting. So we actually have a movie that you can either rent it on premium, video on demand, or you can go see it in whatever theaters, if theaters are open by September 1st. I mean, besides playing off of the nostalgic factor, I wouldn't mind watching it on video on demand. I haven't seen Bill and Ted in years. I mean, I remember watching the Saturday morning cartoon of Bill and Ted, so like I remember the old movies from like, what was it, the 80s, 90s or whatever. But it's been a long time since. So I can't say that I'm super excited for it because I don't really know what to expect or not. I do get the feeling it'll be fine. I don't get the feeling it's going to blow me away. I don't really know if it's going to be like tapping into my childhood and, making me all super excited for it. But the fact that it will be coming to, rental or whatever, I don't know. Cause rental, they be charging like $20 for like premium, video on demand. You tell me, would you want to see Bill and Ted on VOD for like $19.99, or would you be okay going to the theaters September 1st to go see it? I don't know. You let me know. All right, next up we have The Witcher. If you've seen The Witcher on Netflix, you might be excited about this. There's actually going to be a prequel series that has just been announced on Netflix. It is called The Witcher Blood Origin. It is a new 6-part live action spin-off series from The Witcher, and it is set 1200 years prior to The Witcher with Henry Cavill series, and it tells the story of the first Witcher and how the profession came to be. Now, you know what? This is, in my opinion, I kind of think it's a little premature. Mainly because I don't know. I like the Witcher series, right? Like, I'm not in love with it, but I like it. I never played the games and I never read the books. So I was very, new coming into the whole lore and the story and everything. And even though I like the action scenes that the Henry Cavill Witcher's series did, I didn't really like the storytelling, sorry, spoiler alert if you haven't watched it. I'll try not to spoil it too much, but I didn't really like how they tried to connect 3 different stories and mix up the time periods and stuff. Like, it just felt a little unnecessary, because by the time you get to the end, I was just like, I know where this is going. It just didn't feel like a good enough payoff. And honestly, like, I would have loved to see more monsters and stuff. I wanted to see more, because even some of the magic and stuff didn't make sense. I'm like, wait, y'all could do that? Wait, then how come y'all didn't do that the whole time? Like, I didn't really understand the rules and everything. So I kind of and Henry Cavill was a big reason as to why I wanted to watch The Witcher in the first place. So now that we're doing like a prequel series, it almost feels like extra homework, because Cavill's not going to be in it. I'm assuming not anyway. He wasn't announced in it. So like, what's the draw? Like, now you're drawing and hoping for even more of that niche audience to really gravitate to it. But I don't know. I will watch it just because I've already watched the Witcher series, so I'm kind of invested, but I'm not sure that a prequel series would have been good to see, and I'm hoping that this prequel series comes after the second season of Witcher with Henry Cavill. So if you give me another season with Henry Cavill, keep on teasing things or whatever of what happened in the past, I think that'll probably better prepare me and excite me to watch a prequel series. But I'll leave this in your hands. What do you think? Are you excited for a prequel Witcher series? And what would you want to see from it to help you stay enthused about the current series with Henry Cavill? Let me know in the comments. All right, well, now we have another rumor to talk about, which is it is now being reported that Haley Steinfeld is officially signed onto Marvel's Hawkeye production, targeting an October start date. Now, this has been a long-running rumor that Haley was going to play Kate Bishop, who's kind of like basically the apprentice of Hawkeye, but then she ends up adopting the name Hawkeye later on. So this might be happening. You know what? Like, I would take this with a grain of salt. Bigger outlets have not confirmed this. This is coming exclusively from the Illuminati Nerd website. They've been okay so far with their reporting. They announced a couple things that have actually come out, so they're not as sketchy, as other websites that will not be named right now. But this does seem more likely because it has been confirmed by other insiders online. So it'll be interesting. I mean, I think Haley would be perfect for the role. I mean, especially for this Hawkeye Disney Plus series. She's been pretty good. Like, I think in the Pitch Perfect movies, she was cool in Bumblebee. She could definitely, target like younger audiences, which I'm sure Disney would like as well. So I'm down for it. And I am looking forward to this Hawkeye Disney Plus show. Next up, man, I just saw the trailer. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but there's going to be a new DC animated movie that's coming out on digital and on Blu-ray. It is Batman: Death in the Family. Whoo, talk about one of the most iconic, famous Batman stories. This has been one of the dopest ones. This is where, we get the Red Hood storyline and everything. But what makes this so interesting is that the DVD or Blu-ray and probably the VOD version, the digital version, is going to be an interactive story. So as you're going through the movie, you get to pick out different outcomes of what happens. Does, Joker beat up Robin? Does he kill him? Does Robin survive? Does he live? Things of that nature. Which I think is amazing, because what that does is it is a perfect blending of what the comics actually did with that storyline. So for you comic book fans, you already recall in Death in the Family, DC had put out a call to fans to vote on whether or not Joker actually kills Robin or not. And the fans at the time, they voted, yeah, kill him, and that severely altered the course for Batman and the Bat family and everything. And it was just a great storyline. And I just like the idea that you're bringing that element, that fan participation element into the storyline, especially in a digital way. So that's a really cool thing, because again, as stated numerous times, DC knows what it's doing when it comes to animated, movies. So the fact that you're also bringing in this interactive choose your own path, type of course of action. Oh my gosh. I'm excited for that. Let me know. Are you excited for it? I do believe that the Blu-ray and digital are supposed to release October 13th of this year, of 2020. So October 13th, 2020 is when Death in the Family is going to drop. I can't wait. Okay, so now for the bigger historic news, AMC is now partnering up with Universal Studios, and this is after a huge beef was going on between the two. I actually did a whole episode on the beef that was going on with them. Just to kind of give you a really quick, summation of that. Universal Pictures was sitting here saying that they wanted to drop movies a little bit earlier. That was eating into the pockets and the revenue of AMC theaters and other theater chains. So AMC was like, man, we're going to boycott. We're not going to play none of your movies then. So, of course, there was all this friction. However, now the two entities have come together. Universal Pictures and AMC Theaters have put aside their bitter feud and signed a multi-year agreement that will allow the studio's films to premiere on premium video on demand within 3 weeks of their theatrical debuts. Wow. I don't think we realize how big that is. So what that means is, when a movie comes out in the theaters, after about 17 days, it could go straight to video on demand, on digital. This is going to change effectively how movies are marketed and how they're distributed. We don't know the financial details as of yet. They haven't made that public or anything. So we don't know how much of a cut AMC is going to be getting from this or whatnot. But there will be a share in the revenues from the rentals. So now the movie studios are going to have to give AMC a cut from the digital rentals if the movie drops a little bit sooner after that 17-day mark. The rentals will be premium, so we're talking about if a movie comes out from Universal Pictures and it goes straight to digital in 17 days or 3 weeks, that's going to be $19.99 or whatever the current rate is. It's not going to go to that $3 or $6 rate. And it won't go down to that price until 3 months later. So let's say, for example, in movies that will be affected, Candyman, Jurassic World or Jurassic Park, Fast and Furious, those type of movies, they have the option, Universal has the option of putting them on, available for rental, and you're still going to have to pay that $20 to see it. And this is, from my understanding, more of an option. It doesn't mean that a movie that all movies automatically will go straight to digital after the 17 day mark. My assumption is that this is going to apply more so to the smaller movies, like the smaller independent movies that probably wouldn't have gotten a lot of theatrical run anyway. So, those smaller things that people were not usually, going to check for, now those things have a smaller window to make it to digital. And at the same time, the theater's not going to lose out on the money that they might have made, and the studios can still expose those smaller movies to a larger audience. And I do think a lot of the pandemic is still going to affect this, because obviously if we're still stuck in quarantine, or if it gets worse, this could be a huge advantage, especially if theaters are not able to show certain movies at that time. Also, it hasn't been announced as of yet that other theater chains have a similar partnership with Universal Pictures, but who knows? This could be the framework for other theater chains like Regal or Cinemark to, strike a similar deal. But as of right now, I think for us, I think this just means like we're going to have different decisions to make when it comes to movies. Do you want to, watch a movie in the theaters versus just waiting for it? That's going to depend on the movies at this point. I mean, personally, I think what's going to affect more people, because I'm usually going to opt for the theaters anyway, because I just like that experience. But I think the price tag is probably going to also affect things. So if I can go to the movie theater and only pay, let's say, $15, maybe that, adjusts and can kind of compare versus watching it for $20 at my, home. I don't know. I think everybody's situation is different. I think it's going to depend. Like if you got like a boo-boo, standard non-HD TV, maybe it is worth, going to the theaters. If you have a really nice home setup and, a 80-inch, 4K, whatever, maybe it's better to stay at home. I don't know. But you tell me, how are you going to feel about if, let's say, Jurassic World, the next Jurassic movie comes out and it'll be available on digital 17 days later? Are you going to go see it in the theaters, or are you going to stay home? Don't know. This is interesting. Like, all of this stuff is happening just on the cuff, and it's going to be really interesting to see how many other movie studios are going to jump in on this. Currently, this is only with Universal Pictures. I keep wanting to say studios. It's only going to be with Universal Pictures and AMC. But I don't know. Maybe Warner Brothers jumps in. Maybe Disney jumps in. That's a very, very interesting thing. But this could just be the beginning. By the way, before I go, I got to say, one thing I've been watching lately is Little Fires Everywhere. Finally finished that up and everything. Wow, that's actually a pretty good show. Definitely recommend it. Everybody on that show is trash. Every single person. Like, there's no question about it. Everyone is, like, there's no one to really root for, because everyone just lies and everyone is trash. So, if you've seen Little Fires Everywhere, let me know what you thought about it. I really liked the performances in this. I thought the writing was pretty good. I like the fact that it was only 8 episodes. So, boom, boom, boom. You can knock it out in like a day or two, over a weekend. But yeah, really good show. I believe it's available on Hulu. My goodness. Yeah, everybody's just trash. It was just, but really good show. Anyway, what are you guys currently watching? I'm actually looking forward to watching Lovecraft Country, which is going to be coming to HBO Max. I want to say like August 12th, August 15th, something around there. That looks pretty interesting. Check it out, look at the trailer, let me know if you're interested in it or not. I'm thinking about covering that on this channel. Like, I might do episode per episode and do reactions or something. But that does look pretty interesting. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my video. I appreciate it every single time. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all. And until next time, I'll see you all later.